Your mind never shuts off, does it? That endless stream of thoughts, judgments, and worries that you can't seem to escape. It's exhausting, frustrating, and, let's be honest, utterly overwhelming. You've probably tried everything to quiet it, yet here you are, still trapped in the noise. But what if the problem isn't your mind? What if it's how you're trying to deal with it? What if the real freedom you're searching for isn't in escaping your thoughts, but in finally understanding why they never leave? Stick with me, and in the next few minutes, we're going to unravel the truth behind why your mind is always occupied and how you can finally break free. If you're serious about your personal health, whether you want to stop suffering, get clear guidance on how to stop overthinking, or to be more present in life, now's the perfect time to subscribe to our channel. Like this video if you're ready to grow further as a person. Now, let's continue. Every moment is busy in our minds, full of fast thoughts, worries, desires, and distractions. Like an unstoppable cyclone, its circling motion is repetitive. Many people accept this kind of repetitive chatter as normal, as if the mind subconsciously has to keep going to find peace or significance. The noise we've come to accept as inevitable, though, could be keeping us from enjoying something even more spectacular than the chaos. A serene spot that isn't emptiness, but rather a spot of tremendous clarity, where one can take deep breaths and feel one's heartbeat. You are not your mind, Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now. When we let ourselves be completely consumed by our thoughts, we become mired in a never-ending loop of mental chatter and miss out on the peace that lies just below the surface. In reality, the mind is more of a friend than a master, but we often treat it like a naughty servant and expect too much from it, even while we tend to believe that we require a constant barrage of ideas, stimuli, and background noise in order to function. The truth is that we frequently discover our authentic selves when we are completely alone. This is not a place where you can tame your mind. Rather, it is a resource that begs to be explored. Once we get that, we'll know that silence has power. Not empty silence, but the type that leads to greater insight. Eckhart Tolle beautifully explains this in A New Earth, where he says, "The greatest achievement of human consciousness is when you can be present with yourself, without the mind." When we stop seeking distractions, we open ourselves to the possibility of experiencing life without constant interference. Is it clear to you what you need to calm your racing thoughts? There must be some kind of dispute there, right? Because of your inner monologue and your efforts to quiet it, you experience duality, conflict, and difficulty. Question, "Why is my mind chattering?" is never asked, nevertheless. Why is it doing that? I have no idea how to put a stop to your thoughts. My, this is so simple. Why does one's mind wander? Does it have to be done manually? Sloth, perhaps. Does it provide any comfort? Is it because, after a while, sloth's mind gets used to it and starts babbling non-stop? Is it a reflection of your childhood? Maybe it's scared something bad will happen if it stays quiet. Can you make sense of it? Whether we're in the office, at home, with loved ones, or even in the middle of a meal, most of the time our thoughts are preoccupied with something else. Does it really matter that my mind is racing? Oh, I perceive. Now I get it. I will explain the importance of this, if you would just give me a moment of your time. Since this leads to energy being squandered, it is highly significant. Motion is continuous and repeating. Why does one's mind seem fixated on a particular subject? Tell me, please. Prioritize your own needs. Please be patient. Responding immediately becomes vocal and useless. If you say this at this very moment, then why am I preoccupied? Describe your current occupation. The mind is not free for this reason. No, I'm sorry. Does it fear the worst-case scenario when it's empty? Do you think it would exist if nobody lived there? Please, just a moment, live there. Please, just a moment. That's it. Because in fact, it does not exist. Is the meaning I exist because I am chattering conveyed properly? Lots of things are going unnoticed by you. The mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Tolle writes in The Power of Now. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. This continuous mental chatter is, in essence, the misuse of the mind, a distraction from the stillness and presence that exists beyond it. It was proven by Descartes. Thus, I am compelled to ask, what occupy your thoughts? Once I saw that nobody was there, I assumed it was empty. On top of that, isn't that terrifying to you? Is that it? Your anxiousness is advising you to occupy your time with activities that will distract you from it. In order to sidestep the unpredictable, a distracted mind is a useless mind, and it's clear that your thoughts are somewhere else. No, isn't it? Saying spiritual thoughts or thinking about something meaningful may occupy your mind, but in the end, it's a mind that serves no true purpose. A mind that is too preoccupied isn't just motionless. It's completely inactive. It's not fulfilling its potential. You see, our fear of being alone can be paralyzing. When there's nothing else, we're left with the discomfort of emptiness. And that's exactly what the mind is trying to avoid, distracting itself to sidestep the unknown. Saying, I won't chatter. I'll look at this picture, at this poem, at this face. You fix your eyes directly on the subject. You aren't looking because it's occupied though, aren't you? Having said that, being unemployed is a prerequisite for gazing. Put simply, you're ignoring what's going on. Focusing becomes a chore. I am compelled to concentrate. I need to avoid thinking about anything at all. You risk isolating yourself, which could exacerbate tension in your pursuit of concentration. We are now in the consciousness domain. Pay attention. If we had more time, we could explore it more. With everything going on, it's easy to become egotistical while you concentrate. Keeping my concentration is of the utmost importance to me in every setting, be it the office, the factory, the garden, etc. Is it not apparent to you why? Because I will achieve my goals if I give my whole attention. Thus, concentration is the key. In awareness, you are not free to do anything other than pay attention. In contrast, when you devote your whole being to a single activity, like gardening or teaching, you excel at it and develop a colossal sense of self-importance. We have already shown that it is totally unconnected to both, since paying attention does not require a fixed point of concentration. Kindly accept this invitation. Please pay attention. There is no one else here but me when you listen carefully, so tune in with all your senses, mental, physical, emotional, and otherwise. Listening is the only thing you're doing. That being the case, it's obvious that me does not exist at moments of focus. All one can do is concentrate on a borderless region. There is no center, and hence no perimeter, and no space between the center and an end. When you are present, when your mind is free of the past and the future, all of life becomes a great adventure, Tolle writes in A New Earth. This is the state we should be striving for. A state of awareness where the mind is no longer preoccupied, and where light is no longer preoccupied, and where life's true beauty is revealed. What it turns into is, now that we know this, what is missing from the focus. Even while most of us can concentrate for brief periods of time, it doesn't mean we should make it a habit to practice attention. Take lessons on the subject, follow the advice of gurus who stress the importance of focus, etc. One must keep their eyes totally still in order to watch anything. To pay careful attention is to focus one's entire attention on anything. Am I just going about my day as usual? Or are you all trying to get me to do something? The mind has built a wall to protect itself from the unknown, an ongoing endeavor. You may have noticed that a wave of anxiousness washes over you anytime you try to calm your thoughts. The mind seems to believe it will dissolve into nothingness in its utter stillness, as if it were going to disappear into thin air. The I that we cling to with such a ferocity begs the question, is it real or just an illusion? Eckhart Tolle, In The Power of Now calls this constant mental noise the voice in the head, which represents the ego, continuously seeking affirmation and survival through thought. He explains, the mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. Used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. The mind, in its obsession with self-preservation, keeps us caught in an endless loop of distraction, fights against the silence, against the stillness, because in that space, it risks being exposed as the illusion that it is. Far from being meaningless, silence is actually a form of emancipation. Because this independence is so terrifying to the mind, it clings to its constant chatter, diversions, and noise. If we stand back and observe the sound, it begins to fade away. But if we keep trying to ignore it, it gets louder. The actual transformation begins at this point. Mindfulness begins with simple observation, free from interference or judgment. As soon as it occurs, we will be able to sense the subsurface tranquility. Tolle's teachings about awareness and presence resonate here. Whenever you feel the need to control something, that means you are in the ego mind. The more you can be present in the moment, the less need there will be to control the things around you. When we allow ourselves to simply observe, we disconnect from the need to control and manipulate, allowing us to enter a deeper space of awareness where the noise and distractions lose their grip on us. The inability to maintain focus on the present moment is a hallmark of the mental chatter addiction. Its goal is to help us separate from our true selves. With everything going on around us, it's easy to lose track of who we are on the inside as much as outside. The mind is unable to hear what is being said because it is always thinking. Because we are so used to our fast-paced lives and are in such a rush to fill the stillness, we fail to appreciate the wisdom and understanding that may be gained by taking a moment to listen. This constant mental movement is something Tolle addresses in A New Earth, where he explains, "You are not your mind. If you are not your mind, who are you?" This question is not just rhetorical. It's an invitation to examine where you find your identity. If we begin to recognize that we are not the endless stream of thoughts, we can start to quiet that chatter and begin to truly hear the deeper wisdom within us. The answers are not in the noise, but in the quiet space beneath it all. The path to genuine freedom does not start with ceasing to think, but rather with the awareness that one is thinking. More crucial than getting rid of the noise is realizing that you are not it. You are the space where thoughts take shape and then crumble. This awareness is the first step towards living a life that is deeper and more authentic. By releasing yourself from your thoughts, you can free yourself from your thoughts. You can free yourself to fully experience the here and now. Tolle also shares in The Power of Now. The primary cause of unhappiness is never the situation, but your thoughts about it. The mind creates suffering through its constant evaluation of reality. When we begin to disidentify from our thoughts and recognize them as temporary and external, we create space to experience the present moment as it is. We are no longer defined by what the mind tells us. Instead, we live in the freedom of presence, allowing life to unfold without the filters of past judgments or future anxieties. You are not the lead singer, therefore feel free to let your mind wander and express itself endlessly. Your role is that of a watcher. Making this mental shift allows us to go from a condition of perpetual mental struggle to one of serene observation. By simply watching and without moving, we find the power to be authentic. Tolle's concept of the watcher or the observer is key here. He writes, "To watch the mind without interference, to allow thoughts to come and go without judgment, is to reconnect with the present moment. By stepping back from our thoughts and watching them with compassion rather than trying to control them, we can begin to understand that we are not our thoughts, but the awareness that holds them. In this space, we can find peace and clarity. What makes us unique is not our thoughts, but how we act upon them. We mistakenly believed the loudness to be who we really were for quite some time. Still, it's just the tip of the iceberg, and it's often disorganized and fleeting. Stepping back and embracing the calm beneath it all is the key to discovering our true self, unencumbered by thoughts. It would be more kind and empathetic to observe the mind's endless loop rather than attempt to interrupt it. We learn that we are more than just another voice in the crowd when we make that comment. In this vastness, we are liberated. We are emptiness, the empty chamber from whence all things emanate. The key to genuine serenity is not to shut off thoughts, but to understand that you are the stillness, fully present and undivided at all times. Tolle's reminder that presence is the key to freedom captures the essence of true liberation. The stillness that underlies our thoughts is not something to escape from, but something to embrace. When we stop resisting it and allow it to be, we align ourselves with the flow of life itself. The mind quiets, not because we force it, but because we force it, but because we stop identifying with it, allowing us to experience the world as it is, without distortion. Our interaction with our thoughts, rather than our thoughts themselves, determines who we are. We've spent a lot of time identifying with the din, thinking it represents us completely, but it's really only the surface. Sometimes chaotic, always passing. Finding our authentic selves, free from the tangle of thinking, requires taking a step back and appreciating the stillness beneath it all. Instead of trying to stop the mind's never-ending cycle, we should just watch it with empathy and compassion. By making that remark, we come to understand that we are not mere background noise. We are the nothingness, the empty room from whence all things emerge, and it is in this immensity that we are free. Silencing the mind isn't the path to true calm. Rather, it's the realization that we are the silence. Rather, it's the realization that we are the silence and whole at all times. Tolle explains this beautifully in The Power of Now, where he writes, "The mind is a beautiful servant, but a dangerous master. We have spent so long allowing the mind to lead us that we've forgotten we are the masters of our own awareness. When we stop fighting the mind, we reclaim our power, and the mental noise becomes just another passing cloud, without the need for control or resistance." Let's keep growing together on this path of self-discovery. Subscribe to our channel for daily inspiration and grow as a person. Comment the word "now" and like the video to show your support. Also, consider sharing this video with someone who could use some encouragement to slow down and enjoy life more fully.